It's time to have a general conversation about the time value of money, which is this idea that the longer it takes for you to realize a cash event, the less that money is worth to you. Now, to move money through time, we're going to use an APR of 12% compounding monthly. All right, so the statement, what is the time value of money? It's generally the statement that money today is more valuable than money in the future. To see this, let's run the numbers. Let's look at $100 today versus 10 years from now. We're going to take our $100 and we're going to push it 10 years into the future. And we know how to do this using the future value formula. And if we do that, we get $330. Now let's think about what this means. $100 today is worth $330 in the future. This is because money can be used to make more money. A different perspective is to look at what $100 in the future is worth today. So let's take our $100 occurring 10 years in the future and compute its present value. We plug everything into our usual formula and get about $30. This is a bit more clear. Receiving $100 10 years in the future is only worth $30 today. Now, another name for this phenomenon, that the present value is worth less than the original amount, is the present discounted value. Let's do an example to see why this ability to move money through time is useful. Let's say you're provided with the following three options. You can receive $500 today. You can receive $700 5 years from now. Or you can receive $1,100 in 15 years. All right, so our goal is to determine which of these is most valuable, but the problem is that the cash is received at different times, so we're not going to be able to directly compare them. Instead, we're going to have to choose a time period and move all of the payments into that time period in order to be able to make a comparison. So to move money through time, we'll need an interest rate. We'll use a different one than the one above. So let's suppose that we choose an APR of 5% compounding monthly. All right, let's figure out which of these options is the most valuable. Now, we can choose any time frame that we like, but the present is often the most convenient. So let's work with that. And using today as our time frame, option 1 provides us with $500 today, so its present value is $500. Option 2 requires a little bit more work. We receive $700 5 years from now, so we have to pull it back to the present, but we know how to do that. And if we work everything out into a calculator, we get $545.44. Option 3 is exactly the same, but it is $1,100 15 years from now, so when we pull it all the way back that 15 years, we get $520.41. Comparing these three values, it's pretty clear that option 2 is the best, followed by option 3. Option 1 is the worst. And there we are, we're done. Now, I mentioned before that it doesn't matter in what time frame we actually choose to make that comparison. So convenient choices are those choices which are going to minimize the number of computations that we have to do. In this case, the present 5 years and 15 years from now, because we get payments in those time periods, so we don't have to move those payments around. So to illustrate this, let's compute what the options are worth in the 5 and 15 year marks as well. And for simplicity, I'm going to draw the three options on their own timelines to show you how they change. Okay, so we start by filling in the known values. Option 1 is worth $500 now, option 2 is worth $700 in 5 years, and option 3 is worth $1,100 in 15 years. So if we start moving money through time, we start with option 1 and we push that $500 to the 5 and 10 year mark. I've skipped the computations, but you can check them for yourself. With option 2, we have to pull that $700 back to the present, and we also have to push it forward to the 15 year mark. Finally, with option 3, that $1,100 has to be pulled back to both the 5 year mark and the present. Now, if we look at the values of each option, it doesn't matter which time frame we look at. Option 2 is always the best, followed by option 3 and finishing with option 1. So in our original computation, we used today but we did that because it's convenient, and often it is going to be convenient because you have a good feeling for what money is worth today. So that's usually the reason why we use today, but again, you can use any time frame that you think is convenient.